Wake up call number 6 is about local policies, your policies, and your rules. Let's take a look at some of your policies, your spiritual life, policies that make up your social life, your environmental life, and also your political life. We'll put some color on them so we can look at them graphically. And the rules behind those policies have to do with your belief systems and the groups that you're involved with, for example, in spiritual life. And in social life, the rules are what kind of friends that you want to deal with or that you permit yourself to have as a friend. What kind of activities do you participate in? Those are your rules. That's your policy of social life. Environmental life, with regard to your interactions with your surroundings, what are your rules about nature? What are your rules about natural resources and the regulations to protect them? And how about your reactions and to activities that are restricted by those protections? What about your rules in political life? What are your rules with regard to party affiliation and financial contributions and your type of your involvement and how deeply you are involved? Those are all your rules that make up your policies that describe you. So we have a group of what we'll call fundamental rules, your rules, and we'll put them in a box. Okay? Now what we're going to do now is we're going to put that box onto the bookcase. And that bookcase is the bookcase of your rules and your policies. We've already looked at the fundamental ones, which are the spiritual life and social life and political life and environmental life. And now we're going to be looking a little bit at the ones that make up the exciting portion of the bookcase and the personal portion of the bookcase and the physical portion. Let's take a look at that real quickly here. Over here on the exciting portion, we got the drug and alcohol policy. Whatever your policies are, you make up the rules. This is your life. This is your bookcase. Risk-taking. How much of a gambler are you? Those are your rules and your policies. Your sexual activities. Those are your rules and your policies. And also with regard to the sports you participate in. Leisure activities with regard to your personal policies, your family policies. Exercise at the gym or in the exercise room or wherever. What kind of exercises you do, those are your rules and your policies, and your charitable contributions or voluntary involvement. Over here on the physical side, there's obviously what kind of nutrition that you're interested in, vitamins and supplements and all the things that you need to do to keep your body functioning properly, as well as the medical side would make sure that you're taking the correct medicine and you're participating in proper diagnosis and following the rules of the doctor or hospital. So all of these things make up all of your personal policies, and well, we'll call them your bookcase. But keep in mind that you are the judge. You are the one that make up the rules. You are the one that sets your policies. So you're responsible for yourself, for you. So with that in mind, here's a couple things for you to consider having to do with your set of rules. The first thing to consider is the information that you're gathering, is it information or is it knowledge? There's a difference. You're basing your rules on something that has been vetted and proven and has a high credibility of being true. It's probably knowledge as opposed to information. Because if you just base your rules on hearsay, you're liable to have faulty rules. And if you have faulty rules, you have faulty conclusions. And if faulty conclusions are making up who you are, That's not good. We'll talk more about this in a second. The other thing to consider is too much focus on certain set of rules. That could cause you to be locked in a box and confine your growth into other areas. We'll talk about that in a second too. So we got two things to consider. Faulty rules and faulty conclusions could kind of mess up your life a little bit if you're not careful. Locked in a box, if you're doing just a certain set of policies in your life and concentrating on a certain set of rules, you're probably ignoring some rules that you should be looking at, and your growth is confined. Here's an example of the first thing. With regard, are you talking about knowledge or information? Here we have some information here. Comments by Banana. 3 Twitter comments confirms the story. Fox News reports. Report from Putin spokesman. Washington Post reports. Whistleblower exposes the truth. Scientific American article. They say it's all true. Facebook user reveals the secret plan. Whether you like to admit it or not, this is not knowledge. This is just information that's all around us. It's on the internet. It's in magazines. Of course, Facebook and Instagram and Twitter and all the rest. And hearsay, talking to friends and talking to other people. A lot of different sources for information. It's everywhere, especially today in the information age. It is everywhere, but not too much makes it down to the yellow box here, because the yellow box is information that has been vetted because it has more than one reliable source supporting it, and the confidence level is very high. So that's how we're going to define information. And here's an example. Let's say you go to the internet and you ask about vitamin D3, that you're interested in taking vitamin D3 as a part of your nutrition policy. Okay, you're setting up a rule for the vitamins having to do with your nutrition policy, so that you're taking a good position here. You're going to the internet and you're looking at a variety of different things. And you see that some celebrity, unnamed celebrity, says the vitamins are no good. And this doctor agreed with him. My goodness. This one here's Dr. Fauci. Says he thinks that D and C are good. But he says it in such a way, he's like just throwing it out. He's not recommending anything. He's just saying, hey, they're good. That doesn't tell you a lot, does it? And then D3 is an active form of D, and it's sold on Amazon. And here's how to get it. Up here, the D3 manufacturer says D3 is good for your bones. You can buy it right here. All you got to do is click here and you can buy some. Tyler Perry says, hey, D3 protects you against COVID. And then down here it says the Mayo Clinic sets vitamin D3 dosage limits. Well, that's interesting. So, what is information and what is knowledge? Well, clearly, this celebrity that just made this claim, we don't even know the name. That's an opinion. Dr. Fauci's offered this up as more of an opinion than a statement of fact. And Tyler Perry clearly just hopped on the internet to give his opinion. So he probably shouldn't pay too much attention to these opinions. Well, what about these? See that little word that says AD? It says AD. These are advertisements. These are people that are placing these words out on the internet to convince you that you should spend your money and buy whatever they say to buy. These are advertisements. So it's probably not a good idea to place a lot of credibility in advertisements, because sometimes people say something's good when it's not really good just to get you to buy it. So that leaves this one little one down here. It's from the Mayo Clinic. It's talking about how much do you need, a dosage question. Well, that's interesting. Well, let's look a little further into this and see what we get. If we click on that particular one, we get, turns out, a fairly healthy technical article. It's a Mayo Clinic question and answer. How much vitamin D do I need? And it's pretty extensive. It goes on, it talks about whether it's good or bad and how much you need and different sources. And the bottom line in the last paragraph over here, we have Dr. Hansard says, if you have ongoing health concerns or chronic health conditions, talk to your healthcare professional before you begin taking any dietary supplement, including vitamin D. He or she can help you decide if supplements are appropriate for your situation. So all of that stuff on the internet concludes with one authoritative statement from the Mayo Clinic, from the Preventative Medicine Division, that says don't take it unless your doctor says it's okay. That's an entirely different question we didn't even ask in the beginning. But it's knowledge, isn't it? And it helps you make a rule, and it helps you set up a policy with regard to nutrition. The second thing to consider is spending too much time in certain rules. So all here we got too much exercising. You're spending way too much time down here doing this. Well, congratulations. You got your big muscles and you got your six-pack and you're really stretching it here. But you're spending too much time. What about other areas? Your spiritual life, your family life, your social life. They've got so much more going on, but you're all the time, 24/7, exercising, getting big muscles or whatever it is. That's an example of, being where you shouldn't be. Where should you be? Well, you should be everywhere. You should, to be a healthy life, to have a healthy life, you should have a healthy spiritual life, a social life, a political, environmental, even a drug and alcohol policy, risk-taking, gambling, whatever, sexual activities, sports, family, leisure activities, charitable events, and so on and so forth, medical, and of course the nutrition, which we just talked about. You need to be involved in all of those, and you need to be managing those processes. And you should be able to pull out information from various sources to help you make that. Not information, but you need to pull out knowledge. You need to pull out knowledge to help you set this up. Because when you do that, you're going to have clear policies. You're going to know exactly what to do, and you'll be doing the right thing when you do it. This is your life, and we'd like you to live long and prosper. Thank you.